What is going on, everybody? If you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned in to another special edition of the HFWB podcast series. This is your host, Clifton Pope, and with me today, I have a very special, talented woman with me. This has been long in the making as far as making this podcast interview happen to begin with. If you don't know who I'm talking about as far as who I have the lovely web mistress, technology committee for the Black Chambers of Commerce, which we're both part of, by the way, and just basically the owner of the one and only Hfwb, the lovely Miss Ty West has finally made her way to the HFWB podcast series. This has been well long in the making. Welcome aboard, Ty.
Thank you for having me. Yes, it's been a while, and I'm glad I'm finally here and I'm excited to get started.
Yes, yes, indeed. For the people who are listening to the HFWB podcast series at this moment in time, give them a little bit of your background and what sparked your overall passion and just web designing in general, because a lot of people don't know that's your specialty. So break that down for the people.
It's really funny how it even started. I remember, I don't know who remembers the MySpace days, and
Yeah,
there was another platform
yeah,
that used little HTML and some of that kind of stuff. So that kind of originated my interest with being creative online. And then I ended up starting a hair extensions business online, which needed a website. So I designed the website. And what's funny is folks kept asking me, like, who did it and could they have theirs done? So I was like, shoot, man, maybe I can just turn this into some type of business. And here we are, about a little bit over a year into it. And Hfwb is blooming.
yeah,
A
it
little
is.
busy.
Yes, yes, and it's funny how you say that. It's definitely blooming. Where did the name come from? Where did you feel like, okay, I feel like now I can finally turn this into something? Because it's very, very talented as far as what you do overall, as far as just those little tweaks, as far as making websites, just like you say, bloom. Where did that come from, and how did that all come together?
Well, the name, you won't see them right now because it would be too crazy. The
Yeah.
name came from my older little poodle named Blossom. A lot of the businesses and ideas I've started originated with her name in it some type of way. So, and I wanted to integrate web in the name so folks would know, okay, website. So I put Hfwb together, and that started about November, October of 2020, in the almost in the heart of COVID. So it gave me something to do, take my mind off of the craziness that's going on, and gave me a creative outlet to just, design.
It just gave you a space to where you could just go away and just disappear and just be in your own zone and doing what it is that you do best, which is
Yeah.
designing wonderful websites. And break down as far as a little bit more of the services as far as that Hfwb provides, Ty, for those who are currently listening and wondering, what does Hfwb do exactly?
So we specialize in design, website design. That's creating the design layout, adding pages. If we have to design any additional graphics for the website, we dabble in logos as well, but mainly design. We also are partnered with Ellison Helmsman, is a business growth company. So if our clients are in the beginning of stages of their startup, we do have that resource with Ellison Helmsman to help guide and add some strategic planning for the website and their business. So Josh Henderson's actually the owner of that, and he's the co-owner of Hfwb, and
Yes.
he's been a very, very valuable to Hfwb and our growth. So he's also helped with clients with Hfwb, with the planning and just getting them where they need to be.
Yes, and I have to give you my personal credit as far as what you did, as far as helping my personal website, the Health Fitness Well Business website, and just that strategic planning and that strategic growth, and just that overall guide of, hey, you can do this and you can do that, because a lot of people don't know this, and I'm gonna give y'all an exclusive for those who are listening to the podcast series. Miss Ty West has definitely helped the website just grow and blossom and basically do what exactly her name does. And a lot of people don't know that the whole physical and the mental tip of the week that's currently on my website, that came from Ty and her overall influence. So I just want to thank you personally for that. And it's funny how you mentioned the growth process with Josh and everything. How much would you say of an influence he's had as far as helping grow Web in general? Because he's very, very wise and talented as far as his overall vision of just strategic growth within itself.
Oh man, I can't even put a number on the value that I've gotten from having him a part of the business.
Yes, yes.
Just with client conversations, just kind of pinpointing, helping some folks don't know exactly what they need or what they're looking for. And
Right.
that's what Josh is so good at, is kind of, he asks the right questions to get that information, and then he analyzes that information and he turns that into a plan and a strategy for the business. So honestly, I can't even put a value on his help and his involvement. It's without him, I don't think Hfwb would be where it is now. And we have so much in the works, lots of opportunity out there. It's just, he's been very helpful, him and Elsman, him and his crew. It's been very, very helpful.
Yes, yes. It's his overall way of just turning what it is that your vision is into a plan of action is just absolutely incredible. And he's also done a lot as far as helping the health, fitness, wealth business brand grow and continue to grow within itself. As far as like upcoming projects, what do you have as far as the people, as far as what's coming up, as far as for Hfwb?
Well, I'm trying to dabble more on YouTube, trying to get our business and what we do out there. There's still a lot of folks that have no idea what we do. So just trying to get kind of the behind the scenes action and what we use, our software services, and how we can help. So we're just trying to get out there more with video recordings, podcasts, video casts, some YouTube. We're just trying to get out there and help where we can. I know there's a lot of folks that have no idea what direction they want to go. And like with Ellison Helms and being a part of Hfwb, there's a lot more to it than just designing a website to have your business grow. So just trying to get our value out there and let everyone know how we can help, and hopefully we can be helpful.
I saw the other day that you recently just did a website for like some sort of baking company or something, Penny Pantry LLC.
Yes, oh my gosh, it's really good. It's a bakery website. Penny's Pantry. She has amazing desserts. Those are the biggest muffins I've personally ever seen. They're a nice size. She has delicious cookies. She has sourdough bread, and this really cool hot pepper jelly that she sells. You can't find it many places. So that's an original for her. And they're actually grown locally in South Texas. That's even cooler. So yeah, it's Penny's Pantry. It's a bakery. She's actually located in Zapata, Texas, a couple hours from Corpus where I'm located. But yeah, that was my most recent website.
What would you say has been your overall favorite experience as far as designing a website for a particular client that stuck out to you, where you feel like this is probably one of your best work?
Oh, that's a good question.
You think of one that pops to your mind to where it's like, man, I really feel like I put my best touch on this one, if it's even possible.
Honestly, I think Penny's website was the most, it was pretty challenging at first. So there's a lot of the integrations to it was a bit more than I expected. So definitely a learning experience, but we got through it. And those moments where you're trying to figure something out and you've been working on it, maybe even a couple of days over and over, spending hours. You're like, what the heck is it? I know it's right there, but I can't get it. Then all of a sudden you get it. And that moment where you're like, oh, I got it. It's so exciting. I remember there was one point, I think I was trying to integrate something with shipping. There was something with shipping we're trying to figure out. And I just could not get it for whatever reason. It was just not cooperating. The support end on that company for that integration wasn't very helpful. So I had to figure it out myself, finally got it. And I remember doing a little dance in my chair because I was just so excited to finally get that figured out. So I think Penny's, the most recent was with Penny's designing her website and figuring out a little integration with shipping.
Yes. And I personally want to ask you this question, Ty, because it's been on my mind for quite some time. A lot of people don't realize this. You actually also designed the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce website as well, which is something that's very, very, it sticks out to me in a way because it just speaks to Black excellence at its finest. How did you get involved personally with the Black Chambers of Commerce, and what does having that kind of impact mean to you?
Honestly, I didn't even know Black Chamber of Commerce existed in Corpus Christi. One of my other, I know it's so sad. I had no clue it existed. One of my clients, she was a part of it, or she is a part of it. And she knew they're looking to upgrade their website. And she tagged me on a Facebook post. I think she posted and she tagged me on that post. Hey, I know Ty West, she designed my website. You may want to talk to her. And shoot, that's how we connected, met with Simone, and actually Josh was on that call as well. We discussed some things and it worked out where they chose me to design their new website. And it's great. I mean, it's good to have the opportunity to help other minority businesses, especially in this area. There's so many out there that we don't even know about, and having a platform where they can showcase their services, their products in one space, and creating that marketplace and forum that we have there to discuss ideas, what's going on in our communities. So it's been great. It's been great to be a part of it.
Yes, yes. It's just all about just staying united. That's all that matters when it comes to that. And it's very special within itself, definitely. I want to ask you this question since this is kind of like in your lane, of course, Ty. Where do you see the future of web designing going in the next 5 years down the road, if you had an outlook in your mind, if any?
Oh man, everything's always changing. Technology is always changing. I think design already, before I even started, has gotten easier just with all the technology that's out there. So I think customizations and integrations with different plugins become a little easier. And of course, YouTube, you can find ideas and how-tos and help on YouTube for almost anything. So I think it's just going to be more available to folks that didn't think they could even do it. I think it's going to be easier to do with technology that's available and that's going to be available. Because before, all you had was you had to code everything yourself, and that would take out days, months, maybe, depending on how big the website project is. But I think with ever-changing technology, it will be more available to some folks who think they couldn't do it in the first place.
That's a good way to look at it, for sure, for sure. If you had one piece of advice for anyone who's listening to the podcast and who wants to get into website designing and being maybe say the position that you're in, what would that one piece of advice you would give them?
Don't be intimidated. Don't be intimidated. And that's don't be intimidated with clients or potential clients. Don't be intimidated with technology. Just don't be intimidated. There's so many sources and resources out there that can help guide you. Like I said, with YouTube, or just even documented blogs that can help guide you in the direction that you're trying to go. So don't be intimidated. It looks scary at first and maybe overwhelming, but just keep going. Don't give up.
Yes, because as they say, fear is basically false evidence that appears real. So like Ty said, don't be intimidated, chase your dream, chase your vision, and who knows, you could be in a position that she is in, and you could be doing your own thing, helping others out, which is the most important thing at the end of the day for those who are listening right now. As we wrap up this interview, Ty, I'm going to ask you basically a list of questions that I've been asking everybody, just to give people a little bit of an interest as far as what it is that you do, and of course, stuff that people may not know about you or not already know about you. My first question is, what is the first thing you do or think of whenever you wake up every single
day? The first thing I think of is, besides taking my dogs out, taking the poodles out, is just trying to get my day together, and trying to be positive. Sometimes, that previous day could have been hard, could have been long, exhausting, and just trying to wake up in with better energy, in a better space, better mood. Really, that's kind of my first thoughts.
No, those are not too bad thoughts as well. I was also going to ask you, what does basically being like an entrepreneur and basically a businesswoman mean to you personally, as far as your own personal definition?
It just means a woman that is has the strength to endure different obstacles, and it's okay with getting out of her comfort zone to succeed, honestly.
That's pretty much all there is to it with that. That's for sure. And for those who are listening right now who haven't figured this out already, Ty is a poodle lover and she loves her poodles literally to the death of her. And it's just so adorable because I used to have like a little white Bichon myself, and I swear I had it from when I was like 5 years old till probably 2012 is when it died and
Oh,
passed
wow.
away. And I'll never forget when I was like, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and my dad called me saying that my dog died. And I just remember my heart just sank, and I was like, what? Oh, wow. But overall, what I'm trying to get at, Ty, is how much, how, influenced are you by your poodles, and how much do they mean to you, and what other personal hobbies that you like to do outside of that?
My world revolves around the poodles. The poodles, they make the decisions on where I'm going, when I'm going to bed, when I'm eating. You know, they pretty much run the place, and I'm just there to cater to them.
Yes,
um,
you literally cater to them so much that you literally designed your online business out of them. And that's just a
yeah.
special thing within itself. And that's very different. You never, I can't think of anybody else who was doing something like that. So I credit a lot to you for just doing that within itself.
I appreciate it.
I, no, of course, Todd. The last question that I have for you before I start to wrap everything up, what would you, if you had the opportunity to like talk to yourself from 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself? And where do you see yourself personally and iBloom Web in the next 10 years?
Oh, well, 10 years ago, I would have told myself to get started. And like I gave the exact advice to your audience, don't be intimidated, step out of your comfort zone. I think that's a big one. And that's something I'm still dealing with. Joining this podcast is helping me get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Just I think that would be my biggest tip, was just get started.
And if you
And
had to, and where would you see yourself and iBloom Web say in a 10-year vision down the road?
I see iBloom as a bigger agency. You know, I'm wanting to contract some designs out to other web designers, give them the opportunity, even getting as detailed as specializing with other folks who specialize in SEO, graphic design, logo design, videography, photographers. So I'm hoping to grow iBloom into a bigger agency that has other designers who specialize in what we offer.
Yes, yes. And if you haven't figured this out already by listening to this episode of the HFWB podcast series, you can obviously contact Ty at her website, ibloom.web. But for those who want to know additional information on how they can contact you, Ty, where would you say they can get in touch with you at?
Oh man, they can find me if you're on Instagram. You can follow my Instagram at I'm Bloom Web. My website is ibloomweb.com. You can shoot me an email at info@ibloomweb.com. So yeah, if you find me on Facebook, you see my Facebook, you can send me a message there, and we can get in contact, and we can plan on meeting.
Yes, yes. And if you haven't learned anything from listening to this episode of the HFWB podcast series with the lovely Miss Ty West from iBlue Web, it's basically three words. Don't be intimidated. Don't be intimidated to basically chase your vision and turn what it is you want to do into something special. And maybe one day create your own brand and business like Ty did with iBlue Web, like what myself is doing currently with the Health Fitness Wealth Business brand. Do not be intimidated. If you don't learn anything, at least learn that. Because
Absolutely.
yes, you'd be surprised on how much you could do with just those three words alone. But overall, Ty, I just want to thank you so much for just taking time out of your busy schedule just to even appear on the HFWB podcast series. I truly appreciate it. This has been long overdue, and it's finally happened. And hey, we did it, Ty. Thank you
Thank
so
you for having me. I appreciate it.
no, of course, of course. And for those who are currently listening to the HFWB podcast series, this is your host, Clifton Pope from the HFWB podcast series. Y'all stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. Until next time, everybody, salute.